program is still moving forward. And in this live stream, I want to go and talk about some of the major updates that I've been seeing in the landscape for digital marketing tools, WordPress updates in general, as well as a few deals that you might want to check out and take a look at this upcoming month. And also, I have a new intro. In a world filled with fake gurus, rented mansions, and slimy marketing tactics, is there still room for authentic, real people to build a sustainable online business to support their families? I'm John Whitford, and I'm here to tell you that the answer is yes. Let's create a smarter, more profitable sales funnel together. Welcome to Income Mesh. Ooh, you like that? Let me know if you like the new introduction. I played around yesterday with a tool that I'll talk about in this live stream that was on a deal. I've been chatting with the founders, and I decided I'd learn a little bit, and it's pretty cool. So let me know if you like the introduction here in the comment. And by the way, say hello if you're tuning in and where you're coming in from. Hey there, Rohit. I appreciate it. Oh, cool. She likes the live stream. I appreciate that entirely. And hey there, Susie, thank you for joining in as well. So the question for the day that I have for you is, what's been the most unexpectedly good purchase you've bought this year for your business? Sometimes you buy things that are quite expensive and they're a little bit underwhelming. Other times you might find a freebie or one of those cheap deals that just end up changing things in a very good way for you. So I'm curious what your favorite update has been, what your favorite purchase has been this year. Please put that in the chat. And if you're not watching live, again, put it in the comments, and I'd love to check it out as well and maybe do some content or feature it a little bit for in the future. For me personally, I really enjoying yesterday. I built out this new little introduction video. I want to start getting into a bit more of a live content strategy, and I think it's a bit more engaging. It's more fun for me to do. It gets me kind of fired up and turned on a little bit more when I get into content creation mode. And also, if you're lazy, you can at least stick to the schedule and not have to worry about the editing so much. So that's definitely a benefit there. So the tool that I built that introduction with is actually called an InVideo, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on. And I've just had a really fun time using it. Very easy. I'm not a professional video editor. If you've seen my YouTube content, you know it's pretty much just I want to get ideas and concepts out to you, and if it looks good, that's kind of secondary. It's not the focus of my content. So I'm curious what your thoughts are. And I'm probably going to butcher the name. I apologize. Rohit says the Divi theme Unlimited was her best or most unexpected purchase of the year. That's awesome. My wife and I, that was our first premium page builder that we've ever used, and we're still using it on our main business website as well. So Divi, especially for being a lifetime deal and unlimited websites, it's pretty hard to beat that. So awesome. Thank you for letting me know. Alrighty, so the show for the day, it's pretty short, pretty easy. I want to talk through a few updates that I'm seeing out here in the news, in the marketing news. Let me see if I can get this right. Okay, cool. You should be able to see my screen now. I'm also checking out this Ecamm Live software for doing some live streaming because I was having some issues with the previous one. Anywho, so by the way, if you're watching, I'm curious, if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, let me know where you're coming from. I should be multi-streaming to a few different platforms. I'll check after this is over to see if it all worked correctly. The goal here is just find that rhythm, find that process, and stick to it. So I've got a few updates for you. I'm just kind of jotted them down here. I want to walk through a few different major updates that have happened in softwares that I talk about, I recommend, and I want to make sure you guys are aware of it. If you haven't taken action yet and you're deciding which direction to go, I've got a few ideas for you and a few updates that are pretty important. So first and foremost, you should be able to see my screen. I want to talk about a software I haven't talked about in a while. I haven't used CartFlows in a while. I haven't made some content on it in a while because there were some developments that were working through. And I talked to the founders. I'm good friends with the founders, and I knew that they were on it. And I'm happy to admit that, or not admit, but to announce that a lot of the things that needed to get accomplished have been accomplished, and they've been accomplished in a really, really cool way. So again, this is not a full-on endorsement of any one of these tools. I want to make sure that I show what's going on in the landscape and let you know what I'm using as well. So I'm fully authentic with you. But one of the downsides I had always had with CartFlows was that it was a funnel building platform that didn't really hook itself up to being a conversion optimized platform. You couldn't do A/B split testing. But in the month of August, they released the A/B split testing tool, and I won't give you a full-on tutorial on it here in the live video, but if you're looking at a way where you can drive traffic to a landing page and improve it over time by being able to analyze, hey, how well is this page converting? Which price point works better for me? Platforms like ThriveCart, SamCart, some of the best in the industry, ClickFunnels as well, they've had that functionality, and it's really one of the linchpins that makes them so successful, makes them so productive for their users, is that you don't need to take any guesswork into the equation when it comes to figuring out how to launch your product or what's going to work better. You actually let the data guide you, and that just makes the process so much easier. Up until recently, CartFlows, it was quite difficult to do a good full-fledged split test, but with their update they've just done, I'll go ahead and dive into it a little bit here. I think I've got one pulled up. Let me pull over here to a website I've been playing around with a little bit. The way they've implemented A/B split testing has been pretty darn cool. So I can come over here to my flows, and I've got this example one here. I don't think I've really done any design work on it, but in a sales funnel, you like to look at it, sequentially. What's my first step? What's my second step? What's my third step? And the goal of it is to get as many people from the top of the funnel down to the bottom of the funnel, right? To make the conversions. So to do their A/B split testing, they've added this simple little button here. You simply say A/B test, and then it'll instantly create another version of that page. It'll handle all the technical work of sending people from version A to version B, and it'll track all the results that you're seeing as you're moving people through the funnel. You'll be able to get some good analytics, some graphs and charts, and all the kind of fun stuff that geeks like me get excited about. And they've done a great job. So I definitely need to go and update some of the content, some of the reviews I've done on CartFlows, but that's one that's quite exciting. That was one of the major things that was holding it back from getting a full-on endorsement. So I definitely need to amend that. It's coming in to focus quite well, and I will be launching some paid traffic funnels into CartFlows so I can fully understand how it works and how it compares to things like CartFlows, or I'm sorry, like ThriveCart. Another update they just released was they have now the ability to replace a product that's in your order with something that's on the upsell. So let's kind of make an example here. So let's say you're selling a $1 7-day trial as your main product in your funnel. It's a very popular, very common thing to do. Try to get people to open their wallets up and just take out a trial. Well, on the upsell, you now have the ability to say, would you like to go from the $1 trial and maybe get a 50% discount if you sign up for the entire annual plan all at once? You're going for a bigger jump in price, but before this update here, they were kind of stuck, and you had to basically tack on everything on top of what you'd already ordered. There is no replacement, any intelligent order management like that, and that has been handled as well. So they're really going full bore in development on CartFlows, and I'm very proud of them for doing that. It looks like a really exciting time in the digital marketing space. Which is going to be the winner in the whole thing? I don't think there's going to be one. I think ultimately you pick a tool that works for you and you rock and roll. And that kind of leads me into the next update because it's a direct competitor. Again, I'm not playing favorites here. There were some pretty exciting updates in the ThriveCart world as well. So ThriveCart is a system that my wife and we both use. We process plenty of transactions every day on it, and it's a rock solid platform. But one of the downsides has always been it was a bit limited in what platforms it integrated with. If you weren't using MemberPress, which is kind of a bit of an older system and it wasn't a very solid base, or if you didn't use Teachable, you were kind of out of luck. Optimized Member is getting a little bit long in the tooth as well, but they've just released a direct integration with Lifter LMS, which is extremely popular and a free online course platform on WordPress, and Thrive Apprentice, which, as you guys probably know, I'm a pretty big fan of the entire Thrive Themes team over there and what they do. So that's a pretty awesome integration. So now you can simplify what you're doing. If you're selling with ThriveCart, your shopping cart solution can be off your website, your email marketing solution can be off your website, and Thrive Apprentice can kind of be that house where all your premium content lives, and you can sell and unlock access like that. So that's a pretty awesome update there. And their page builder is coming along. I kind of would have liked them to advance it a little bit faster, a little bit farther. But what's beautiful about ThriveCart is my wife and I, we've been able to start launching little side businesses. We've got a little bit extra time. We're able to be in the office, in the studio a little bit more than we used to be able to be. And so we've been actually launching some fun little side businesses of simple digital products where driving traffic straight from Facebook to our sales page entirely built in ThriveCart, and it's actually converting. And it's really, really fun. So it's an exciting experiment for us to put all the education, all the teaching we do into a different type of practice where we've always been focused on one or two of our businesses, but now we're actually enjoying the freedom of being able to have multiple going on and see how that all works and pans out over time. All right, so that's kind of the two updates, the major updates in the selling platform world. CartFlows, big updates. ThriveCart, big updates. And I want to move on a little bit here to a couple of deals that I see are worth paying attention to. Again, I don't promote that many AppSumo deals because I personally have been burned a couple of times on them where it seems like you'd spend $100, $200, maybe you'll stack it up to $300 on a deal that looks too good to be true, and then development kind of wanes as the deal ends and the developers need to come and make good on their promises. But there's a few here that I have personal experience with. And I can tell you that they're good companies and they're currently on a pretty good deal. So the first one here, if you do anything on YouTube, this is one where I should be using this tool more often myself. I get a little bit lazy when it comes to the actual optimization of my content. But Tubix is a really cool tool that allows you to connect with your YouTube channel, and then it can give you advice on what to do with your headline, what to do with your featured image. It helps you kind of optimize like you would for a blog post, to optimize it for SEO. It does the same thing for your YouTube content here. So if any of the deals look interesting that you're seeing here, you can go to incomemesh.com/appsumo, and that's my affiliate link that kind of just takes you to AppSumo, and then you can find these deals that we're talking about here. So Tubix is one that you pay once, you pay $50 once, and then you can optimize every YouTube video you make. And if you're not an SEO guru, it gives you some really, really good tips along the way. All right, so that's Tubix there. A next one here that is on a deal, and I'm a little bit salty about this deal, honestly, because I paid way more for a lifetime deal a while back. But Crello is a graphic design tool. It's similar to Canva. It's similar to several other platforms that are out there. And Crello has some nice features where you can bring animations in, you can bring videos in, a couple of different features on there. A couple different features that are in Crello that allows you to make some pretty cool looking designs. So at $67 for life, that's pretty good. Again, I'm not condoning you go out and you spend all your money on AppSumo deals. In fact, Sandra Carter just gave an awesome comment that I agree with, that AppSumo is an expensive rabbit hole. And it can be. Not only is it a rabbit hole, but it can be a time suck, because every time you go there, there's something new. Then that dives you into a whole, research experiment that is just not necessary in most cases. So I agree with you. And so the benefit of me doing this little live stream is it gives me an opportunity, like an excuse, honestly, to go and check out what's currently out there, see if there's anything that I've used, I recommended, and then I can launch. And really, really good call out here. The OG Marketing Pro says the AppSumo apps are 1-year deals. Has this changed? So AppSumo has always been lifetime plans. Is this, OG looks like you might be, as I mentioned, I've been off AppSumo a while. Have they changed their business model to only be 1-year deals they're offering? I'm really curious about that. So let me know what is going on here. So a 1-year deal makes me feel not so salty about my lifetime deal that I have now. Another one here. Okay, it looks like the deals are very specific. So this one is listed as a lifetime deal still, which I think makes sense because it's a WordPress plugin. They can't really charge too much. So this one is Cubely, and this is going to kind of segue into general WordPress updates I have for you, which are pretty exciting. WordPress is coming a long way. Their page building experience is definitely it's not competing with Elementor and Thrive Architect or those tools that are out there, but it's definitely becoming one where you don't need anything else to build a good looking page. You can simply install a smaller plugin like a Cubely, which is a set of tools and blocks like Elementor is, but it stays all inside the WordPress builder, the WordPress kind of ecosystem. And it's done a really good job. It's allowed you to build very beautiful pages without any code, but also without some of the extra bloat that you get when you bring on Elementor and other page builders that are out there. So this one is a lifetime deal at $50. It's not necessary. If you are going for a page builder, I still think that Elementor is the best overall. But if you are a speed freak and you want your website to be light and clean and integrated and easy to use, I think Gutenberg is getting easier and easier as time goes on. And then the next one, the last deal that I see no reason why not just pick it up. And if you try it, great. If you don't, you have nothing to lose. There's a freebie out. And full disclosure, I've not used this myself, but I have built chatbots for clients using other tools before that are way more expensive. And there's a freebie for 1 year where you get the access to this Silver bots. So if you are struggling with either customer support and you need an easier way to manage your chat support, messenger bots are a pretty effective way these days because everybody has it. Everybody's talking that way. People prefer chatting over email. The downside with chat bots is that they're expecting a much quicker reply. They don't have to be the most lengthy replies like emails are sometimes expected to be, but some people don't want to have to reply so quickly. So if you don't have a support team, maybe that's not interesting to you, but it's also can be useful for marketing, running ads. Ads to messenger bots is still a thing. It's a bit less of a strategy than it used to be. And that was just due to Zuckerberg making some changes to the ecosystem there. Yeah. So Parable is reiterating, have to be careful now. Some AppSumo deals are lifetime, some are limited time. As OG said, they seem to sometimes bring back lifetime deals, but not as lifetime. And that's a good point because things like let's see here. I think it was Tubix for sure was a previous deal that was on lifetime, and it looks like it did well enough or it did something. I'm trying to decide what the motivation would be to bring it back. It probably didn't do that well. I don't know. I don't want to speculate here on live, but they're bringing it back for a 1 year deal. I do still think it's a good platform. It's one that I use on almost every YouTube video, ones that I really want to rank. They also allow you to pick out which hashtags to use and all these different things I would never think to do on a normal basis. All right, and then the last kind of update I want to make you guys aware of, this isn't brand new. I've been a little slacking on my live streaming, but WordPress 5.5 is really starting to get exciting for those of us that want the independence from page builders. I'm not saying I'm one of these people, but about a year and a half ago when Gutenberg first came out, I was thinking, oh my goodness, this could be the end of page builders as we know it because it's all there in WordPress. There's no additional interfaces to learn or anything like that. It's easier for beginners to get started. But for the first year or so, you guys let me know in the comments if you thought that Gutenberg was going to make it or if it was going to become the next best thing or if it was just going to be this stuff that you use for ugly pages and for your pretty pages you use more premium tools. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought about when Gutenberg first came out. But I had really high hopes for it, and then as time went on, I didn't see the development really pick up. It seemed like they just put it out there and slowly, surely made it a little bit better. But now with WordPress 5.5, it's looking like there's a bit more of some fire under the development plan here. Really some cool things coming. They're putting in native lazy load into WordPress, so your pages load faster. It uses less bandwidth on mobile users, so they get there faster and they use less data in the process. Their block building interface in Gutenberg, it really has become quite nice. It looks very similar to like an Elementor, where you have an entire grid of all the widgets you can use, and there's a lot of really useful things you can do now with the Gutenberg builder. The question is, should page builders be worried? I think there's still a long way before builders like Elementor get worried at all about Gutenberg. I do think that for blogging, like writing your blog post, not designing your sales pages or your beautiful about me pages and things like that, but for the ones where the design can be a bit more rudimentary, I think Gutenberg is more than sufficient. It's fast, it's easy, it's a pleasure to write on. So I think that's definitely going to be here to stay. But if you're just getting started and you see people who are using Elementor and using Thrive and using all these like additional add-ons, it can be a little overwhelming to a lot of people when they're first getting started. We have almost 100,000 students in our main businesses school, and we taught them a bunch of different tools. And as we grew, as my wife and I got better and learned more about building websites, we would add more into our course. And then we kind of reached a specific point in time when we realized the more we're adding actually wasn't increasing our students' results. It was actually kind of taking away from the results, because as we kept getting smarter, we kept adding more, and that became more and more overwhelming. So we actually simplified a lot of things and really flexed our muscles around the Gutenberg page builder. And it can do what you need it to do. If you're a beginning blogger, if you're just getting started building your online business, if the tech overwhelms you, then forget about the tech and just build your pages in Gutenberg. It can totally work. If you want the simplicity, but you still feel a little bit limited, I think that a tool like Cubely, or there's several out there. There's some that are free. You don't need to pay for anything, like you see here in AppSumo. One or two additional block plugins can be all you need. I think Cadence is a great one. I think Ultimate Add-ons for Gutenberg are great plugins. But there's a lot of light, a lot of hope for the Gutenberg crowd out there, and I'm definitely becoming a believer in its future. Let me check the comments over here. Yeah, people are still using the classic editor in starting their online business. That I don't fully understand. I'm not a big fan of the classic editor. When Gutenberg came out, I was excited seeing the classic editor going away, because it was just impossible to see your columns design. You're always bouncing back and forth. So I do think that the block editor has a place. It's here to stay. But yeah, classic editor, I don't know why people still do that. But hey, to each their own. It just goes to show you there's more than one way to skin a cat. All right, so should be going full screen here. So yeah, I just wanted to pop in for a little bit here, guys, and give you some updates. Speaking about these updates and talking about the Gutenberg in particular updates. So there are two courses that were either brand new courses or completely redone with Start a Mom Blog. Our blogging by number course, our main course, we focused really on Gutenberg because it helped our students get better results faster. And that is ultimately the goal. I've had clients, I've had people that have reached out to me, and they're telling me they can't launch their business because the button colors wouldn't line up, or they couldn't figure out how Elementor's header system and their footer system was separate from the blogging system. Like, there are so many minutia that you can get into when you add on complications into your business that we just decided, let's simplify it, let's get our students results, and then as they get more proficient, then they can learn and add additional layers of complexity. And then we also launched a course with to show you how to use WooCommerce, completely free setup, with no paid, no premium things. All you need is a hosting plan, and then you can accept payments online. And that course was awesome. And we even designed out the homepage and designed everything that looked quite nice and clean. But again, 0 plugins. The only plugins we used were WooCommerce, and I think a couple for shipping and some of those e-commerce side of things. But that's it. Keep things simple. Have some fun with it. Don't take things too seriously. And by the way, if you like the new setup here, I've got some stuff coming for my backdrop. I finally decided to go and spend a little bit of money to make it look like I'm not in a jail cell or something behind me. But let me know if you like the style, the streaming system. Hopefully is working pretty well. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.